Welcome, fellow enemies of the fire. We are here to do a little something different, a little something fun, a little something I know nothing about. James, what is that thing? What are we looking at? What is this?
I was looking for my hockey puck, so hopefully you would have been looking at that, but that is not the case. You are looking at, well, no, they're not looking at anything, but
not yet, at least.
Not yet.
No, we see the table.
But so this is the table, and there was a doing it live, folks. Basically, there was an amazing Four Nations hockey tournament that was the NHL's All-Star game that took place over the past few weeks. We missed covering it last week in the excitement of leading up to the Chicago Fire game, but we wanted to mention it this week because it was one heck of a tournament. It was so entertaining from start to finish. It drew people in. It drew people back who were NHL fans who maybe have strayed or, are just like too busy to pay attention. And it was like Olympic level hockey. Olympic level hockey is some of the best hockey in the world. Like, these guys skate harder than anybody else. They're the 1% best hockey players in the world, and you saw that on display from start to finish in this tournament.
James, so did everybody participate? Did the LeBron Jameses and Kobe's and stuff participate?
Yes.
Nobody was like, I'm gonna skip it.
All the big boys were participating. It was incredible.
Okay.
The only person missing some might say would be Patrick Kane. Just because he's one of America's best, but he's been having
Didn't he retire?
No, he plays for Detroit, and he's been having a bit of a down year. So that's why Patrick Kane was on a beach down in near the equator, while he was watching America just win this round robin tournament all the way to the final, en route to lead against Canada. But before they got there, they had to go through Canada. And go through Canada they did in amazing fashion in a 3-1 game that was just absolutely thrilling. It felt like the US it felt like US Mexico in soccer.
Controversy. Did the controversy make it better or worse for you?
So the controversy definitely played into the first game. The first game, the Canadians were booing during the American national anthem. They weren't too pleased, and that kind of set the American players off. The two Tkachuk brothers started two fights. Another American started a fight. Before you knew it, the Bash brothers and their hermano were sitting in the penalty box, just raising their fists, roaring up that crowd like it was the Mighty Ducks. It was absolutely immense. I've never seen anything like it. The first fights happened within like 9 or 15 seconds, 3 fights. And the thing about hockey is some people don't understand fighting and the fighting aspect of hockey, but I played hockey, and I'm here to tell you it's a different animal than basketball or football, where these guys are wearing gloves. First off, they throw their gloves off, they take their helmets off, and these guys start throwing haymakers. But there's something about hockey that is a warrior mentality. And that just comes into that, where these guys let that aggression out, and sometimes they gotta police themselves.
I gotta wonder here, and then James, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't like when they fight in hockey, because it's not like you're fighting on the street. You're not standing on solid, non-slippery. You're not gonna be able to pivot. As like if you were fighting on the street. Would you say that fighting on hockey, like, all bets are off? Like, even the weakest guy could get a lucky punch.
Well, I mean, in reality.
If he gets fired up enough, but typically nowadays you're not going to see the smallest guys take on the biggest guys, but it does happen from time to time. If they get in their craw, those little guys are going to let you know. And the thing about those little guys, they can go real fast, and they can throw a lot of weight on you still, even though they're little.
What I'm trying to say is, like, if the same fight were to happen on the street, on the pavement,
it'd be totally different animal. But first off, you got 3 to 5.
Yeah.
You're 3 inches taller than you normally would be, because you're standing on ice blades on ice. You got to balance that while also shifting your movement. It evens things out in some ways because of the uneven ground. And hence you do see mismatches sometimes end up going the way of the little guy.
Hold on. I know you didn't want to get into the boxing of this whole thing, but Why Sweden and Finland? Are they legitimately like?
They're
I know
two-
Canada and U.S. are usually ranked really high. Are they really number 3 and number 4, or are they just like?
It's
is there
absolutely arguable that they're number 3 and number 4. There's maybe a few other claims out there. You know, maybe the Czechs, maybe Russia. Could have been involved too. Maybe that's something in the future that might happen. That'd be freaking crazy because the KHL is the number 1 competitor to the NHL. Which is a wild thing too. I didn't even really think about until I'm just now talking about it. But so yeah, there are a few other teams that, you know, they could maybe extend this tournament, but then that makes more games. And the thing about this is it was such a small contained unit. It was from February 12th to the 20th, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games total plus the championship. And it was basically a round robin tournament to determine who was going to meet in the final. U.S. had to go through Canada to get there, which was absolutely amazing. And then in the final, Canada made it. They had to go through Finland. Finland had to go through Sweden. It was just amazing. And Finland and Sweden are hockey rivals, just like America and Canada. I mean, those guys are. And the thing is, we're all buddies at the core of it. Like after the game.
Oh man, that
these
must have
guys
been
are
a good game.
Yeah,
4-3 in the overtime. Oh man.
Oh my God! Look at this. So there was 1 overtime, 2 overtimes, 3 overtime games.
You didn't break your TV, right, for the Canada
Absolutely
the
not.
final game?
No, not at all. I was absolutely stoked for them. I was sad I was sad for America. But the crazy thing is, like, you're looking over the guys, you're like, oh shit, Sid the Kid Crosby's over there, and what?
You gotta admit though is that they pulled this off in Boston, out of all places.
I think that they were around a
Montreal,
few. So they were at the Bell Center, Montreal, and in Boston. So yeah.
No, but I mean, having the final in Boston, that's like a very hostile crowd to begin with.
I mean, especially
Boston is rather hostile in general,
especially if you're a Blackhawks fan. But the crazy thing was one of the Boston Bruins' favorite players, Brad Marchand, was playing for Canada, and he had a chance to win the game. And you better believe they were all so happy he missed. But at the end of the game, they were also very happy for Brad Marchand, even though America had lost.
Was Connor? Was our Connor?
No, Connor Bedard. He was not there. Is
he not good enough to be there, or was he injured, or what? I don't know.
Team Canada is amazing. I mean, Team USA was absolutely amazing too. They were missing Patrick Kane. I think if they had Patrick Kane, it might have helped push them over. Because they went with Tkachuk, and they only got 7 to 12 minutes out of Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, in the second in that last game. So they dressed 2 players that played a total of like 14 minutes. Normally these guys are playing 14 minutes to 18 minutes for forwards, maybe 20, 22 minutes if they're defenders a game. Like that's 22 minutes over the whole game. Because hockey, you're going out there for 10, 15 second, 45 second, maybe if you're crazy, shifts. Like that's how long these shifts are, 15 to 45 seconds on average. Yeah, you'll see some extended shifts for some of the star players, especially because if they got the legs to do it. Maybe you'll see Patty Kane back in the day take an extended shift. But, you know, I would invite all you guys to try to do that with like 30 to 50 pounds of equipment on you. It builds up. Hockey's a hell of a sport.
Hey, DBG, can you skate?
I used to rollerblade. You know what?
Hell yeah.
I used to rollerblade when I was a kid. I used to rollerblade to the Park District in the inner city streets of Chicago.
Any roller hockey? Because roller hockey was so sick too.
When I tried roller hockey, I was bad at it just because it's constant movement because you can't stop. You know, so yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch any of this tournament here. DPG, were you invested at all in this tournament?
No. Honestly, I didn't watch the tournament. I just heard about the controversy, and that was it. Found it interesting, but it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess oh my God, alarms are going off, all sorts of craziness.
Yeah.
So I know James had he was really excited about this, as you can tell. James is the hockey fan here. Now, I think this works because it's hockey, right? You don't always get a lot of opportunities for these nations to play.
Well,
and
here's the thing that about what you're saying. It's that the last Olympics didn't, they did have Olympic hockey, the NHL players were not allowed to go as part of the player union. So so hockey fans kind of got robbed of the best of the best. They had to send the next best. And so it was a bit more.
So that made this necessary.
So that made this filled with so much more excitement because they had the best of the best of the best playing the best of the best of the best. Like Sidney Crosby was a third liner. Like just if that's some name recognition for you, just because they're amazing players out there. Connor McDavid, above all from Canada, was the number 1 player. Austin Matthews from America, the Tkachuk brothers from America. Quite a few impressive games from the netminders. Hellebuck, the American netminder, and then I forget the name of the Canadian netminder, but he outplayed Hellebuck, who's considered the best goalkeeper in the world right now, and Canada came out on top in that overtime. And that's what was also awesome. Like, this lived up to the billing. It got more and more and more exciting. And that's like how playoff hockey is, because when it's all of a sudden it becomes sudden death, and whoever loses this, it's over for them. So it's just another animal.
I really have a hard time watching hockey. And the reason I say this is that sometimes it's really hard to follow that puck.
Yes. How about that bringing that Fedor puck back?
Remember when Fox did that, where they tried to have like the puck with the CG on it?
Absolutely, it was amazing.
The thing about it, if you compare it to soccer, obviously soccer, you could track the hell out of the ball easily. Even when it snows like crazy, they'll bring out the orange ball. Like, it's easy to follow soccer. But like, I tried watching hockey and I couldn't keep up with the puck. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
Well,
that's interesting you bring that up.
Keep them.
Because
keep in mind, I used to play floor hockey in the Park District too. I love playing floor hockey in the Park District.
I gotta say, these HD TVs and these 1080 signals have definitely come a long way in making the game a lot more watchable. Because for me, I actually was able. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh wow, I'm able to follow this pretty darn easily. Like, and I was just zoned into that game. But it is such a faster game as well. Like, it is just. The pace is lightning fast. All of a sudden, like, they're going one way and you're like, oh, where'd the puck go? And they're going the other way. And that's also part of the excitement of hockey and just like how fast it is. And that's what was impressive about this game too. Not a lot of penalties. These guys were playing pure hockey. In the championship game, there was no fighting. It was just pure good checks, good solid hockey from both sides. It was awesome, amazing to watch.
No, I mean, it's good that hockey gets a taste of what we get with soccer, because, I mean, as much as I don't feel really like this is the time in history to be extremely, let's split up in the tribes of our nation states.
Right, yeah.